Hello, readers of Every Word, and welcome to Every Word 365. I'm your host, Christina Munoz Madsen. Welcome to Exodus. Today we're reading Exodus 1 through 2. One book down, only 65 to go. That might sound like a lot, but give yourself some credit. We've only been doing this for 2.5 weeks, and we have covered a lot of significant stuff. When you look at all we've covered, it certainly seems like longer than 2.5 weeks, doesn't it? So, way to go. Pat yourself on the back. You can do this. Let's keep going. And now we're going to head into more intense reading. Did you know that nearly 400 years have passed since the end of Genesis? Be sure to read the introduction page of each book. Some really good information in there. You might be familiar with the story of Moses in a basket as a baby. But did you know Moses was a murderer as an adult? Some would say it was a righteous killing, but a murderer nonetheless. A great reminder that if you ever think God can't use you for greatness because of things you've done in your past, think again. Moses is a great example of that. Love today's daily walk. Satan delights in convincing believers that they are of no use to God. Where in your life have you nearly given up hope that God could ever salvage the situation? Your job, schooling, marriage, ministry? Before you give up, walk a mile in Moses' sandals. Study his failures and learn about God's patience with him. As a person who was attacked publicly years ago, 3 articles on the front page of the statewide newspaper about me, I feel like I have a unique perspective on how Satan and the world desires to see good people fail, like Moses. Have you ever noticed how much coverage stories on godly people who fail get? It's almost as if we in our flesh feel better about ourselves when even they, outspoken Christ followers, can't get it right. I'm not saying we all don't mess up and maybe even deserve the negative stories, myself included. But I would also encourage you to pray for that person the next time you see a headline like that, instead of passing judgment on how bad that person is or being relieved that it isn't you, because with the way Satan works, next time it could be you or a loved one of yours. So just good things to remember, that we can really learn from Moses and all that he went through and then all that he did for God and obeying God. I would love to know your thoughts. So when we typically share on our Facebook group page. I hate it if you're not on Facebook. You can still get my emails, but that is the best way for us to communicate and share comments about what we think and this kind of stuff. I'd love to know what you think. There's also another great resource that I'll be sharing typically at the end of every book that we read through. It's called the Bible Project, and they have these overview videos of all the books in the Bible. So I'm including, there's 2 broken down Genesis into 2 videos that does a great creative job of covering what we have just read. You may also want to read them before we read the books, and so keep that in mind if you want to read Exodus now, since we're just starting. It's just a great resource to help you understand these stories of the Bible even better. Tomorrow's reading is Exodus 3 through 6. Happy reading! This podcast is brought to you by Travel with Friends. Europe is filled with heritage and culture and has beautiful scenery. Italy is home to some of the world's iconic art, architecture, and cuisine. Ireland has beautiful landscapes. Scotland is rich in heritage. England shares the origin of the Protestant and Methodist faith. From the coast to the capital, Greece is filled with amazing cuisine and abundant history. Travel with us and experience the best of Europe. Just give us a call at 501-379-9226 or email friends@travelwithfriends.com or click the link in the podcast description and let us make your travel dreams come true.